So Artful got a buff in the most recent update. Honestly, the changes are a little underwhelming after testing them out, but I'll visualize their pros and cons here. While I go over these buffs, be sure to subscribe. 94% of you aren't. It takes just one click and helps a lot. First, Artful's walk speed got buffed from 9 to 10.5, making Artful have the highest walk speed out of any killer in the game. This change could in theory help you catch people when you couldn't before, but walk speed matters very little in Die of Death due to how fast you regenerate stamina, meaning the buff is really hard to notice. Another small change is when repurposing something, you no longer stay completely still, rather getting heavily slowed, similar to what happens when you place something down. Again, the buff doesn't really do much except possibly giving you slightly more leeway to use repurpose on civilians for puppets, so another very small buff. However, the biggest buff by a notable margin was what they did to repurposed walls. Basically, now if you hit someone with a repurposed wall from 10 studs or further, it will ragdoll the civilian for 1.5 seconds. This is actually really useful, as it typically allows you to get a follow-up hit if you gauge your distance right, something the old version just would not do. However, be sure to not hit people up too close, as if you do so, it won't ragdoll the civilian. Overall, I think that this new version is quite good, but still feels slightly underwhelming compared to repurposed Music Box, not just because of what both of them do, but because you may miss out on being able to replace your music boxes before they get destroyed and potentially move them to places where needed. Anyways, during this LMS I show probably the best time to use repurposed wall, and that would be when someone is being slowed by a music box. This not only makes it easier to land because of the lack of movement, but it will allow you to be standing basically next to the civilian while they're slowed, leading to big damage. Here you can see that doing this immediately stops this guy from being able to run and forces them into juking in seconds, and in due time, I'm able to kill them, winning the round. All in all, I wish Artful would get a few more quality of life buffs like being able to cycle copyright like kill droids deploy, but this is a decent step in the right direction. Subscribe for more.